Hello everyone, welcome to Eminent Personality Webinars. Welcome you all for this special event. As you know, this is organized by Technobase. Today, I want to introduce to you, all of you, about what is this all about, this Eminent Personality Webinars. It's basically the professional journey of eminent persons who are well respected, well experienced in their own fields. And the main objective is creating a learning platform for younger generation, right, by understanding from the the experience of the eminent personalities, because they work so hard. Everybody has 40-50 years plus professional experience. They learn lessons, and from those 40-50 years experience, for younger people, we can take a lot of takeaways. So this is all about that webinar is eminent personality, the people who are well respected and well experienced. We do have themes for these eminent personality webinars. They basically, we have two types of focus currently. One is focus on the rubber industry, eminent rubber industry professionals, and one is eminent scientists. I think we all know about the value of the scientist. I think COVID gave us a lot of good lessons to all. Even the layman understand what is the meaning of scientist. And today we have here one scientist. And in this programs by the rubber industry or scientists, we have again two types there. One is in conversation, other one is the legacy. In conversation is, the people who are alive and active can continue serving the industry, and the legacy is the people who are no more, but they contributed. We need to respect their contribution to the industry as well as the world. So we have two themes we focus on it under the eminent personality webinars. So we are all here for the in conversation with eminent scientist. And before I invite our guest, I want to convey special thanks to the Dr. Samar Bandyopadhyay, our team. We are together. We developed this program. Without him, I will not able to put it. And also a lot of friends, even the past eminent personalities who are, we invited and who contributed for this program. And there are a number of well-wishers and supporters. I'm very much thankful to all of you for joining, supporting this event. And my special thanks to the Society for Industrial Chemistry in India, who are actually supporting since the way I started this event. They actually supporting their members are actually participating in this program. Society for Industrial Chemistry is basically an association, professional association of the scientists, chemists, chemical engineers. I do encourage all of you who are interested in this field or be member of this professional body. And more information you can check at the industrialchem.org. Thanks to again the Society for Industrial Chemistry. All our eminent personality webinars, they're available in the YouTube. This program gets recorded, and so people after the program is done, it's available in YouTube. So more people are going to view this program. So please watch out our Technobi channel YouTube. Okay. We're all here. Today our guest, our hero is Dr. Bipul Saha, or Dr. Saha, and we want to know about him by his own words. And before I invite him, let me introduce about the brief agenda for today. We have just like today now welcome remarks, and I brief you about what is Technob about. After that, Dr. Saha will share his journey, about his journey and his achievements, lessons learned, and his style, and his 40 plus 50 years, like 40 plus years experience, in his career. So we learn from his own words, and many of his colleagues are coming forward to share about him, what kind of person he is, what kind of contribution is. So we have a number of his colleagues and friends, industry friends, came for. Some of them have sent the videos, run their videos. Some of them are joining in the live today. So they'll be invited, and they will share about their association with Dr. Saha. And we'll have a quick brief Q&A session and the various issues about the chemistry, scientist related issues. So this is the agenda for today. And let me quick introduce about Technobase. Technob is recognized as International Resource Center for Industries and Technologies. We cover broad segment of industries, but mainly on the polymer segment, plastics, rubber, and polyurethane adhesives and coatings, but also the chemical engineering and also energy environment technologies. Our services are pretty much global, and we offer exhibitions, training conferences, webinars like today, and we have business networks, we have publications. We also have on talent search, we have a knowledge test, consulting, and also business match. We kind of, the reason we call it resource center, we cover a broad range of issues relevant to industry, focus on education, focus on business, focus on consulting and networking. So this is all briefly about Technobiz. You can check our website technobiz.org for more information on it. Okay, now that's about it. Welcome and introduction. Now we're all here about Dr. Bipul Saha. Dr. Bipul Saha, please come forward. We'd like to know about you. We'd like to know your journey in your own words. So let's get started. Welcome you to this program.
Good afternoon to all of you. I would first of all like to thank Mr. Peram and Dr. Samar for inviting me in this webinar. Technobiz is doing an excellent work. I have attended some of their webinars earlier, and those have been quite inspiring. Well, I was born and brought up in Darjeeling, which is a beautiful hill town in West Bengal. So my family consisted of my parents, my elder brother and elder sister. Whatever little I have achieved in my life is due to my family, my wife, my daughter, and my teachers in school, college, university, and abroad. Today, I would like to first of all remember my school teacher in science, Darjeeling Government High School, Sri Haridas Datta, my chemistry teachers in college, Professor Indu Shekhar Banerjee and Professor Shanti Bhattacharya, my university teacher, my PhD research guide, Professor Horinarayan Khastagir, and other teachers in my university, Professor GSS Murthy, Professor Omyokanti Ghosh, Professor S.K. Mojumdar, Professor Bimal Maji, and others. And last but not the least, my postdoctoral research guide, Nobel laureate Professor Derek Barton. Well, to begin with, I passed my higher secondary examination from Darjeeling Government High School, and I had first rank in the school. Then I did my BSc with honors in chemistry, and I was an university medalist. Then I completed my MSc with a gold medal, and finally my PhD from North Bengal University under Professor H.N. Khastagir. My PhD thesis was highly appreciated by the examiner abroad. He was Dr. George Petit, Director of Cancer Research Institute in Arizona State University in USA. So my research work was on the chemical investigation of Indian medicinal plants, with particular reference to isolation of anti-cancer compounds from Indian medicinal plants. In addition, I also did some work on the synthesis of natural products. So all my research works were published in international journals in those days. So apart from studies, I was quite interested in games and sports. So I used to regularly participate in games and sports in my college and university days. And also I used to deliver some speeches from All India Radio on popular scientific topics. So in those days, there was no television centers, only All India Radio was available. Okay, now after completing my PhD degree, then I joined the Bhabha Atomic Research Center Training School. So this is one of the toughest places to get in, and Bhabha Atomic Research Center offers a one-year exhaustive training program. This is not only in the field of chemistry. A chemistry student will also learn about physics, mathematics, statistics, chemical engineering, nuclear engineering, and so on. So that after completing the training program, the scientists and engineers, they can take up important responsibilities. So I had the first rank in the training school and was awarded Homi Bhabha Prize. Now in BRC, the rule was that whoever has the first rank in the training school, he can select or choose the department where he wants to work. So I selected radiopharmaceuticals division. Radiopharmaceuticals are basically pharmaceuticals with radioactive isotopes, which are used both in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases. So one of the diagnostic tool using radioactive isotopes is called radioimmunoassay. This was invented by an American scientist, Dr. Mrs. Rosalind Yalow, and she got Nobel Prize for this invention. So I had the opportunity to be in the laboratory of Dr. Mrs. Rosalind Yalow. That was way back in 1982-83. So in BRC, I was working on the development of radioimmunoassay and also on the quality assurance of radiopharmaceuticals. So in this connection, I may mention that in 2007, the Golden Jubilee of Bhabha Atomic Research Center Training School was there, where Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was present, and I was awarded Homi Bhabha Gold Medal in recognition of my work. So I spent about 4 years in BSc, and after that I got study leave, and I went to Canada in the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. That's a beautiful place, and there I worked on medicinal chemistry. So when I was in Canada, this International Union Against Cancer, based in Switzerland, they gave me an International Cancer Research Technology Transfer Award. And after some time, I also got an offer from Nobel laureate Professor Derek Barton. In the photo, you can see that the tall person with white shirt, he is Nobel laureate Professor Derek Barton. And on the extreme left of the screen, it is me, whether you believe it or not, that is me in those days. Okay, so I got an opportunity to work with Professor Nobel laureate Professor Derek Barton, and I accepted that offer. Soon after, I got another offer from Professor E.J. Kore of Harvard University. But since I had accepted the offer of Professor Derek Barton, so I had to politely refuse the offer of Professor E.J. Kore. And so in Professor Derek Barton, as you know, some of you know that he's a very, very famous scientist. He has done monumental work in conformation, stereochemistry, and organic chemical reaction. In organic chemistry, there's a reaction which is called Barton reaction that is named after him. So I did very good work in his research group and developed a new type of aldol condensation using organosilicon compounds to make beta hydroxyamides. So this work was very much appreciated by Professor Derek Barton, and the certificate which he gave me, I think that is the most valuable certificate in my life. I have never thought of getting this type of certificate from a Nobel laureate, Professor Derek Barton. Okay, now after completing my research with Professor Derek Barton, I decided to return to India. At that time, my parents were in West Bengal. So they are quite old in those days, and they are also not very keen to move out of West Bengal at that time. So Pfizer, as you know, Pfizer at that time was the world's largest pharmaceutical company. So Pfizer was setting up a new manufacturing plant in West Bengal in a place called Kalyani, which is about 100 kilometers from Kolkata. So I got an offer from Pfizer to join them as manager quality assurance. So I joined, I accepted that offer, came back to West Bengal in the Pfizer manufacturing plant. And soon after I joined, within a couple of months, Pfizer management saw my interest in research and development, and they promoted me as manager R&D and quality assurance and gave that additional responsibility of research and development. So in the Pfizer, we are in those days we are manufacturing products like pyrantyl palmoate, morantyl citrate, and in our R&D we started work on a product called PCBS urea. I'll give a background of this PCBS urea. In those days, I'm talking about 1985. Pfizer was manufacturing a anti-diabetic drug. It was called diabetes. And the chemical which was used in the drug is chlorpropamide. Now, in the synthesis of chlorpropamide, one raw material which is used is N-propyl isocyanate. Now, in December 1984, that Bhopal tragedy took place. That was due to the leakage of the gas methyl isocyanate. You know that Bhopal tragedy, how disastrous it was. Thousands of people were killed because of methyl isocyanate. And in Pfizer, we are manufacturing chlorpropamide by N-propyl isocyanate, which is also as toxic as methyl isocyanate. So it was decided that an alternative method for manufacturing chlorpropamide will be developed, which will not require the use of N-propyl isocyanate. So that's how this PCBS urea project came. Here we are using very simple chemicals which are not toxic, like parachlorobenzene sulfonamide, urea, potassium hydroxide, N-propylamine. So with that, we are making PCBS urea. So Pfizer Kallani plant was given the responsibility to make this PCBS urea for the global requirement of Pfizer International. So we that project for PCBS urea, I was given the responsibility for that project, and we did a lot of work. The project was completed within stipulated time and quality parameters, and started manufacturing PCBS urea. So that product we exported in large quantity to many international locations of Pfizer. So Pfizer International was quite happy with our performance with this new product, PCBS urea, and subsequently Pfizer International gave many other products like chlorpropamide itself, tinidazole, and those type of products. Now in Pfizer, in those days, we are manufacturing pyrantyl palmate and morantyl citrate products also. And when I was manager R&D and quality assurance, production manager of Pfizer left, and Pfizer management promoted me as the production manager and gave the whole responsibility, because I had the total understanding of the chemistry and the processes. So after I took over the production manager, my first aim was to improve the yield of every stage, decrease the effluent, improve the environmental performance. So Pfizer, in those days, they are working in 3 shifts round the clock in the manufacturing plant. I remember, so one of my colleagues, Mr. Satyabrata Mukherjee, who was with my Pfizer in those days, he is here today. So he will share his experience subsequently. And after my speech, I think there will be a lot of my friends and acquaintances in India and abroad. I was associated with IUPAC, so president of IUPAC, and presidents of different divisions of IUPAC. They will also be speaking after I speak this presentation. So we did a lot of work for the improvement, and I remember in those days I used to come in each shift, first shift, second shift, night shift, meet with all the chemistry personnel, whether they're production manager, production executive, or junior most person. We used to discuss and explain the chemistry of each step of the manufacture, what are the causes which can cause the low yield, how to improve the yield. And I used to take the suggestions from all of the employees, whether it's a senior production manager, production employee, or a junior most employee. And Mr. Satyabrata Mukherjee, who is there, who was very active in this project, he did a lot of changes and a lot of improvements. So he will be speaking his experience afterwards. So we could make a significant improvement in all the steps. And I remember in those days, Ian Brooks was the international manufacturing manager of Pfizer based in New York. So he sent a very big congratulatory note for the improved plant performance. So that is how we worked in Pfizer, and subsequently many other new products came in Pfizer. Now, when I was in Pfizer, so the D-Day in my life came. So I got married to Dr. Supriya. So I am PhD in chemistry. Supriya is also PhD in chemistry. So if I extrapolate this information and arrive at a conclusion that Dr. Saha must have a very good love life and it must be a love marriage. So for your information, it was just a arranged marriage, and coincidentally we are both from the chemistry background. So I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to my wife, Dr. Supriya, and my daughter, Shreyashi, without whose wholehearted support, I would not have been what I am today. So after Pfizer, I joined another multinational company, Monsanto. Monsanto in those days are one of the world's largest company in biotechnology and crop protection chemicals. So Monsanto in those days were having a manufacturing plant at uh, Lonavala in Maharashtra. Now demand for Monsanto's products are increasing, and we wanted to increase the capacity of production. But Lonavala being a tourist place, it was not possible to get any permission to expand the capacity. So we purchased a new plant at Silvassa, and there I set up a new project. So I was given the full responsibility to set up that grassroots project. There are a lot of challenges, a lot of issues in getting all the government approvals and those things. And I used to interact with Monsanto International. I visited their plant in Missouri and St. Louis, and I was quite impressed with the level of automation they are having. So with all these experiences, we implemented the Monsanto's new plant, which was very much appreciated, and we did a lot of improvements and changes for this plant. So after my stint at Monsanto for a couple of years, so I joined Gharda Chemicals as a director, one of the directors in Gharda Chemicals. Now, Gharda Chemicals is not a listed company in stock exchange, but it is one of the most valuable, most progressive, most dynamic, and most innovative company in the chemical industry. Some of the processes which have been developed by Gharda Chemicals are best in the world, and it could capture the world market in various product categories. So in Gharda Chemicals, I implemented a OECD GLP laboratory, a GLP laboratory, good laboratory practices laboratory under OECD guidelines. This is one of the difficult things to get approval because the quality assurance process in a OECD GLP laboratory is quite different. Say, for example, for a 5-batch analysis, if you want to do by OECD GLP process, it will take at least 1 month to complete the analysis, and it will be a 200-page report. So we could get that approval, and we are one of the first 3 companies in India to get this OECD GLP certification. And then Pfizer, Gharda Chemicals did an excellent job. And Gharda Chemicals, Dr. Gharda, he was given the Chemical Pioneer Award by American Institute of Chemists. In the 70-year history of this award, Chemical Pioneer Award by American Institute of Chemists, it was the only Asian to get this award. So this was quite a big achievement. Now, I had been there for a couple of years, maybe about 6 years I was there. Then I joined another company, which is a first generation entrepreneur, that is Vinoti Organics. Now, this company has a different philosophy. So they thought that they will not make too many products, very few products, but whatever they produce, they would like to become world leader. Now, this is a very, very top, I would say that objective is very difficult for a first generation entrepreneur chemical company to become world leader in whatever they do. But believe me, they kept their word. They are manufacturing a product, ATBase, acrylamide tertiary butyl sulfonic acid. And in this product, they are world number 1 with 65% of the global capacity. I mean, very few Indian companies, particularly first generation entrepreneur, small company has achieved. And similarly, in the isobutyl benzene also, they are the first generation entrepreneur company became the world number 1. And this Vinoti Organics promoter, so he, within 20 years, he became $1 billion. So this is how intelligent chemistry can create wealth for the organizations. Okay, so after Vinoti Organics, my last stint in the industry was with Nagarjuna Agrichem. So here I established, joined as a director of research and development, and established a world-class R&D center. So those who have visited from abroad and all places, they have really appreciated our R&D center. Here we worked on the uh, process development of agrochemicals, intermediates, and formulations development. Here also we set up the GLP OECD laboratory, and we also developed expertise in impurity synthesis. For any registration of a agrochemical company, you need all the standard impurities, which are highly complex molecules and difficult to synthesize. And we got national recognition for our expertise in this. Now I'll come back to some of the conferences where I have involved and how did I get into these conferences. It started way back in 2010. Now, our managing director at Nagarjuna Agrichem, he was to deliver a speech in an international, in a national conference where a lot of international speakers were there. But due to some his important other priorities, he could not deliver that speech. So about a week before that conference, he requested me to deliver the speech and prepare the presentation. So I worked day and night and prepared that presentation. So that presentation was very well received by the audience. So the organizers of the conference were very much impressed, and they invited me to become the chairman of the next year's conference, that is Prop World India 2011. So that conference was held in Bombay, and as a chairman of the conference, so I had to coordinate with all the speakers, invite the speakers, coordinate with them during the conference day, coordinate all the presentation, handle the question answer session. So this conference in Prop World India, that went very well, and the organizers again invited me to become chairman of the next year's conference, that is Prop World India 2012 in Hyderabad. So this way I could establish myself as a good organizer of the conferences and a good speaker of the conferences. So I started getting invitation from abroad to participate in various conferences. So then I got in China Crop Protection Summit, which was held in Shanghai. So there I was invited as a speaker. Then there was Agrochemics China. Then came the Crop World Global London, where I got invitation to deliver a speech in Crop World Global London. That program was attended by all stalwarts. It is BSF or Bayer, Syngenta, all these people are there. So there I made a lot of number of presentations and participated in the plenary discussions. So after Crop World Global program, so we had another program. I would say that that was the World Congress of Pesticide Chemistry. So this is International Congress of Pesticide Chemistry or Crop Protection Chemistry. So this was held in San Francisco. And this is a program where all the top leaders participate. So whether it's Bayer or Syngenta, Dow, DuPont, Mitsubishi, all the companies, Monsanto, they participated. And I was invited as the discussion leader for a full day seminar. That program was called Developing Global Leaders for Crop Protection Chemistry in the 21st Century. So I was coming from a relatively small company from India, and I was invited as a discussion leader where all the big stalwarts are there, Syngenta, Dow, DuPont, Bayer. So it was very honorable for me and for India, and that conference went very well. And Professor Sir Richard Schrock, who is a Nobel laureate, he was present in the conference. Then subsequently, in 2015, we had the World Congress of Chemistry that was held in Busan. Now, since I did my postdoctoral research with Nobel laureate Professor Derek Barton and also with Dr. Mr. Rosalini Yalo, so I could develop contact with many Nobel laureates, and I was in touch with them throughout various means. And we have been discussing the research projects and issues with the challenges in the research. So in this conference, many Nobel laureates came. So this is Professor Andre Geim. He got the Nobel Prize for discovery of this what is called as graphene. Graphene is a very thin material consisted of one molecular layer of carbon atoms joined by alternate single bonds and double bonds. A very unique structure. It has a lot of good physical properties like it is a very strong. It is told that it is several times stronger in that steel. It is a very thin material. Its conductivity is good. So because of these unique properties, it is getting a lot of applications. And I think recently in mobile phones also this product is being used because of its strength. So Professor Andre Geim was there. Then we had Professor Y.T. Lee. He was got the Nobel Prize for his innovative work in chemical kinetics. He's from Taiwan, first Taiwanese to get the Nobel Prize. And then we had got Akira Suzuki. I think most of us know Akira Suzuki, who have studied organic chemistry. There's a Suzuki coupling, which is named after him. And he has done phenomenal work in synthetic organic chemistry. And being an organic chemist myself, so I could develop good bond with him. Then the next program was in 2017. That was in Sao Paulo in Brazil. So here also we had several Nobel Prize winners who attended the conference and delivered the speeches. So it was Sir J.E. Stoddard. Now he developed a mechanically interlocked molecular architecture. This is a very unique thing. There are some two different molecules are there. These different molecules are coupled by mechanical means, not by a chemical bond, like chain. They are coupled by chain. Very unique thing. This is getting novel application. So there is a lot of innovative things which are happening in the field of chemistry. Then Nobel laureate Robert Hoover, who did the structural elucidation of three-dimensional structural elucidation of proteins. Dr. Robert Hoover, he was also present in this program. So these are gave us the opportunity to interact with various Nobel Prize winners. These are big conferences. They are called IUPAC World Congress of Chemistry. IUPAC is leading organization in chemistry, and I'll come back to that later. Now, because of my involvement in these various types of conferences, seminars, and research projects, so I've been involved as editorial advisory board as various journals. So I was editorial advisory board member of Farm Chemicals International in USA, and then also Agribusiness Global USA. And currently I'm editorial advisory board member of American Chemical Society's ACS Journal of Agricultural Science and Technology. And I was also editorial advisory board member of Carbohydrate Newsletter and editor of Indian Society for Environmental Science and Technology newsletter. Now in this year, I mean 2021, say global team comprising of 7 members, out of which I was one of the members, is an IUPAC project. We wrote a paper integrating sustainability into learning in chemistry, and this paper was submitted to American Chemical Society's Journal of Chemical Education, and they published it as a guest editorial. And then Government of India has also invited me to be principal investigator and member of screening committee of New Millennium Indian Technology Leadership Initiatives. Okay, having talked about so many conferences and other things, let me just share my something about my association with IUPAC, that is the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Now, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry was formed more than 100 years ago. It is the largest global organization of chemistry professionals. 55 countries are members of IUPAC, and there are maybe 6,000 volunteers of chemistry chemists who work for this organization. So it is we all of us who have studied organic chemistry or any part of chemistry, we know the IUPAC system of nomenclature. This is taught in the school, but IUPAC does many more things than the nomenclature. It has 8 committees, 8 divisions and 11 committees who develop databases, physical constants. In fact, we cannot think of chemistry without IUPAC. So it is advancing chemistry worldwide and is a indispensable source of chemistry. My association with IUPAC started in 2015 when I attended IUPAC World Congress of Chemistry in Busan in South Korea. So there I delivered number of speeches on variety topics, and that was quite impressive, and that drew attention. And in that meeting, I met Dr. Bernard West. He was the chairman of IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry. So since I was from the industry, we developed a good rapport, and Dr. Bernard West took some extraordinary step to induct me as member of IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry. So that was my association with that. And in that meeting, I also met two other ladies, Dr. Laura McConnell, the top lady, that on the left-hand side. She was at that time IUPAC Division of Chemistry and Environment President. And I also met Professor Hemda Garelik. She was also the president, subsequently the president of IUPAC Division of Chemistry and Environment. We developed good contacts, and they inducted me as member of IUPAC Division of Chemistry and Environment. Since I became a member of IUPAC Committee of Chemistry and Industry, so I was attending various meetings. So we had the meeting in 2016 in Beijing. This is for chemical industry for sustainable development. So a lot of Chinese people from various manufacturing organizations and from other parts of the world, they attended this meeting, where I also presented on various topics, particularly with respect to environment, safety, and health in Indian organization, and also on responsible care movement in India. So subsequently, this World Congress of Chemistry was held in Sao Paulo in Brazil. Here I delivered a number of speeches on different topics, like which included, say, big data in chemical industry, or some other topics like education of chemistry in India. So I have myself kept myself aware of the developments in chemistry, like big data, artificial intelligence, and all those things. And whenever I have presented, so I have presented on some updated list, like this. In this particular speech was about the application of big data and artificial intelligence in chemical industry. So there I got introduced to top IUPAC staff. So the lady is Professor Natalia Tarasova. She was the president of IUPAC at that time. She's from Russia. And then I also got elected in that as the titular member, which is the executive committee member of IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry, and also national representative of India in IUPAC Division of Chemistry and the Environment. So in 2018, we had other meetings of IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry in Bratislava, in Slovakia, and also we had meetings in Division 6. Here, IUPAC works on projects. So we had various projects. As I said, IUPAC has 8 divisions and 11 committees. Many of them develop some new projects which are beneficial for the mankind. So in these meetings, we discuss about all those projects. What is the status, what needs to be done, and work out the plan for the new projects which can be taken by IUPAC. This was in 2018. These programs were held in Bratislava and Rome. And in 2019, the International Congress of Crop Protection Chemistry was held in Ghent in Belgium. So this program is held once in 4 years. It is like Olympics, the biggest event, and more than 1,000 people, top of crop protection chemistry professionals, joined this meeting. And in this meeting, it is decided in which location we'll have the next meeting. So in 2019, from India, along with Indian Council of Agricultural Research, so put a bid to hold the 2023 conference in India, and we won the bid. So we can see the Indian flag flying in Belgium. But due to pandemic, we think that 2023 it may not be possible to have that program. Possibly we'll be having this International Congress of Crop Protection Chemistry in New Delhi in 2024. So in that Ghent program, Belgium also, I delivered a number of speeches. And then in 2019, World Congress of Chemistry and General Assembly was held in Paris. Now, here I got elected as the IUPAC Bureau member. In IUPAC hierarchy, IUPAC Bureau is the topmost in the governing body. So this is quite a tough election. So voters in this election are the 55 countries who are members of IUPAC. So they decide who will be the IUPAC Bureau member. And the election is a very unique election in which a candidate must get 50% vote, then only he can get elected. And so it is held in a number of rounds. So I got elected in the first round as the IUPAC Bureau member. So in the 100-year history of IUPAC, only 3 Indians have been elected in this position. Way back in 1979, Professor C.N.R. Rao, who is the Bharat Ratna, he was elected in that same position in 1979. So, so in this meeting also I delivered a number of speeches and participated in various meetings. Now in 2021, this IUPAC World Congress of Chemistry and this General Assembly was supposed to be held in Montreal, but COVID-19 came in the way. So we had all the virtual meetings for IUPAC in 2021. So here also all the elections were also held virtually. So I got elected in various positions in this. So currently I am continuing as the IUPAC Bureau member. In addition, I am also secretary and executive committee member of IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry. This is the first time an Indian has been elected as the secretary of this IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry. And then I am also national representative of India in IUPAC Committee on Chemical Industry for Human Needs. So, so that is another program. This is called ChemRon. Then other committees which I got are IUPAC Project Committee. I am a member of IUPAC Project Committee, and I am also associate member of Division 6 and Crop Protection Subcommittee. Then in IUPAC we're doing a lot of important projects like systems thinking in chemistry. So I am member of the systems thinking in chemistry, and another project is IUPAC's contribution to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So in that way, I am quite deeply involved with IUPAC in various projects. Now, apart from IUPAC, so I have been also associated with various other organizations. So in 2016, American Chemical Society invited me to participate in the Global Code of Ethics for Chemists workshop. So as you know, chemistry can be used both for the constructive purposes and for the destructive purposes like chemical weapons. The purpose of the Global Code of Ethics is that if you have a proper code of ethics and our chemists are exposed to that, then they will be inclined to do more towards the constructive work. So a meeting was held where from 17 countries, 35 members, they were present in that Global Code of Ethics meeting, and we worked 1 week for 5 days full week to develop this Global Code of Ethics for the chemists. So at this stage, I must say that I have also been participating in many of the invitations from Asian countries. Like I got invitation from Vietnam, then in Thailand, then Taiwan, and of course, I participate in a lot of meetings in India. So at this stage, I thought that I should share my experience with school children. In 2019, IUPAC centenary was held, and also this was the International Year of Periodic Table to commemorate 150th anniversary of the periodic table. So I organized many programs with school children in various cities. So children were encouraged to prepare different types of models, and this drew the attention of international people also. So in the closing ceremony of the International Year of Periodic Table, which was held in Japan, I was invited to make a presentation about the IUPAC, International Year of Periodic Table activities in India. So this was a big honor for India, because only India was the only country which was invited to make a special presentation about the IUPAC activities. And in this meeting, I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Professor Yuri Oganessian. Now, the last element of the periodic table, kind atomic number 118, it is named as Oganesson. It is named after him, Professor Yuri Oganessian. Okay, so this is my journey about the chemistry. But in addition to my MSc and PhD in chemistry, so I took interest in management subjects. So I did my MBA also. I've been a constant learner. So I've been learning throughout my life. Even at the age of 60, I'm continuously learning. So I did my MBA and also a PhD in management. So several management institutes in Mumbai, top-ranking management institutes like Wellington Institute, Failaja Mehta School of Management in IIT Bombay, they have all been inviting me to deliver speeches, and I was invited as a chief guest in the convocation to address the convocation address. And currently, I'm associated with Sagar Group of Institutions, which runs a PGDM program in agribusiness management. So this is a equivalent to an MBA program for agri business program, which is run under AICTE. So this is how I've been doing, and then I have also considered to be quite knowledgeable about total quality management. So Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, has invited me to conduct program on total quality management all over India. So full day program where top level executives from multinational and Indian companies like Tata, Birla, Reliance, all senior level people have attended these conferences on total quality management. And finally, my speech will be incomplete if I do not mention about my interest in cultural program. So I have directed and acted in drama. I still do acting in drama, and also I have a unique hobby, that is audiovisual recitation. So I recite poems along with pictures using LCD projector and laptop and all modern gadgets. So this program has been broadcasted by many TV centers of Kolkata, and I got a big review in Times of India. This is a review in Times of India, picture perfect recitation. Bipul Saha uses pictures to narrate poetry. So this program has been held in USA, Canada, Australia, and other things, other places. So this is how I've been living my life. So involving myself in diverse activities, diverse subjects, keeping myself abreast of whatever is happening. So let me end with few of my favorite quotations. Imagination is more important than knowledge. So our imaginative ideas, creative ideas, out of box thinking, that is what can bring big change in this world. Then next quotation is, they look at things and ask me why, but I dream of things that never were, and I say, why not? So this is the principle of innovation. Ask the status quo. And Taj Mahal would not have been so beautiful and everlasting if Shah Jahan had invited quotation and decided for the lowest. And then in our life, there are so many problems are there. Sometimes problems are so big that we want to quit problem. Before quitting any problem, we can try this one. Keep a photograph of your wife or husband in your purse. Look at it when you are facing a problem. Very soon you will realize that not many problems are as big as this one. So if you have tackled this problem, you can tackle any other problem. And my last slide is the magnificent power of beliefs. So what we are saying is that success begins with a fellow's will. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you are outclassed, you are. If you like to win but think you cannot, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you will lose, you are lost. For out in the world, we find success begins with a fellow's will, and it's all in the state of mind. Life's battles do not always go to the stronger and faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. So thank you for listening. I think there are some paper cuttings. So I think these paper cuttings can be shown. Yeah. So this is World Chemicals News. When I got elected as bureau member. So next one. So this is in Chemical Weekly, elected to IUPAC committees, different IUPAC committees I got elected. Then next one. So IUPAC Green Chemistry Panel and there's some international organization of IUPAC. Next one. So invited an editorial advisory board of international journals. Yeah. Next one. So this came in the newspaper in Telangana, IUPAC honor for the city scientist. Next one. So strengths of Indian agrochemical industry highlighted. Whenever I go to deliver some speech abroad, so I try to highlight the strengths of India. So this way, wherever I've delivered speeches, I have tried to project India in as much good light as possible. Yeah, next one. So this is about some Taiwan conference. Next one. Okay, this is about my audiovisual recitation program. So Times of India carried out a big review about the program. It's a new program where pictures are used along with the poetry. Next one. Yeah. So I have done this program in USA, Canada, Australia, and many other cities, and of course in India, many cities. So this is some Australia program review. Dr. Bipul Saha, Mumbai presents unique audiovisual recitation. Next one. Okay, so this is how I have been living my life. So not only in studies, not only in chemistry, but in various topics. I am thankful to all of you who have patiently listened almost 45 minutes of this lengthy speech where I've been talking about myself. In fact, I was not very comfortable to speak myself, but Mr. Peram convinced me that I should share my experience with the younger generation. So I agreed to his proposal. And I am really grateful to Mr. Peram and Dr. Samar for inviting me for this webinar. And I also thank you all the audience who have been patiently listening to this boring lecture for 45 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Now, but I think much more interesting things will come. So many of my colleagues from India and abroad, they have prepared some video talking about our association. So I think Mr. Peram will take us through those videos, and then we have got live speakers who are present. Somebody from USA. It is now 3 o'clock in the night. He's still live in this program. He will be there. Then from Dubai, somebody is there, and from India, of course, in Hyderabad, my friend is there. So I think that now we'll have an interesting program. Mr. Peram.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. Wow, you got, I mean, I never seen a person who worked with so many Nobel laureates in chemistry. I think you were the first person for me. So it's a great journey, very inspiring for the younger generation. Thank you very much sharing your experience and the journey to all of us. It's very useful to us, particularly for younger people like us. As he mentioned, yes, we have quite a list of remarkable people colleagues of Dr. Saha who are here. Some of them not here. They send us video links. I will show you links videos one by one. I'm very much thankful to you, all of you, sending these videos, and also some of you are joining in the live session today. Let me go with one by one. Okay, first is Dr. Laura McConnell and also the Professor Mary Garrison. Dr. Lara, she's a Bayer Science Fellow and Executive Committee member of IUPAC and former President of IUPAC Division of Chemistry and the Environment. And Professor Mary Garrison of Australia, she's an Emeritus Professor, School of Chemistry and Molecular Biosciences, the University of Queensland, Australia. I know she's also a IUPAC bureau member. Let's hear them out. Just let me open their video. Please stand by.
Hello, I'm Emeritus Professor Mary Garston from the University of Queensland in Australia.
Hi, and I'm Dr. Laura McConnell from Bayer Crop Science, based in North Carolina, USA. Mary, you and I have had the pleasure of working alongside our Indian colleague and friend, Dr. Bipul Saha, for several years, and let's together summarize some of his many accomplishments to the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry for the Eminent Personality webinar of TechnoBiz.
Yes, I first met Dr. Saha about 4 years ago at the General Assembly held in Brazil. And at that time, he was appointed a titular member, and he was the secretary of the Committee on Chemistry and Industry, the first Indian scientist to hold those positions within that important IUPAC committee. He also became involved in the Interdivisional Committee on Green Chemistry for Sustainable Development.
But before that, he has been an associate member, a national representative of Division 6, that's the Division for Chemistry and the Environment, where he always worked to bring an industry viewpoint to discussions. And even now in 2021, he's working energetically on projects such as systems thinking and chemistry, contributions of IUPAC projects to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and green industrial processes.
Yeah, so those are really excellent contributions, but let me also comment about some engagement activities. In India, Dr. Saha has organized a large number of programs in the university and school sector during the centenary celebrations of IUPAC that were held in 2019. And of course, those celebrations were held alongside the International Year of the Periodic Table. And I think that 2 IUPAC events are worth mentioning. First of all, he encouraged many Indian students to take the Periodic Table Challenge. And then also in 2019, networking breakfast events were held as part of a global women's breakfast program. And in that year, he arranged 5 such breakfast events in India.
And under his leadership, Dr. Saha has helped to promote the Global Breakfast series within India since then. In 2020, there were 8 breakfasts in India, and for 2021, a total of 61, the largest number of events held within any of the more than 70 countries that participated.
So we can be sure that many hundreds, if not thousands, of Indian students will have joined in that networking activity. But let me finish by commenting also that for 2020 to 2023, Dr. Saha has been a member of the Bureau of IUPAC, one of 10 such elected positions globally. And in that role, he has been a productive member of the important project committee. He has also facilitated links between IUPAC and the Indian Chemical Council.
Yes, we really want to thank Dr. Saha for being a wonderful ambassador for India within IUPAC, and we both congratulate him on this excellent professional recognition from TechnoBiz. Thank you.
Indeed, congratulations.
Wow.
Thank you, Laura.
Nice.
Thank you, Laura and Mary, for those kind words. So I've been interacting closely with them for several years. Laura and Mary are the most dynamic ladies I have ever met. They are versatile, handling many responsibilities together and simultaneously. Both of them are bureau members and co-organizers of IUPAC Global Women's Breakfast Program, which has been very successful. When I wanted to build a relationship between IUPAC and Indian Chemical Council, both of them supported strongly. In fact, Mary participated in the meeting with the Indian Chemical Council representing IUPAC. Thank you, Laura and Mary, for your kind comments, and I look forward to working with you in many IUPAC projects in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. So we have one more guest here, the Professor Christopher Brett from Portugal. He's the president of the IUPAC, which is, as you know, is the largest global organic chemistry. He has shared his message as a video. Let me run for you, please.
Distinguished participants in the Eminent Personality webinar dedicated to Dr. Bipul Saha. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Christopher Brett, and I have been president of the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC, for the biennium 2020-21. We are a global resource for chemistry and count on the willingness of many expert scientists to help address issues of consensus on standards, exchange of data, and fomenting sustainable development in the chemical sciences at the worldwide level. It is an honor and pleasure for me to talk a little about Dr. Saha's activities within the framework of IUPAC. He started his collaboration with IUPAC in the Committee on Chemistry and Industry in 2016 as an associate member, and in which he is now secretary. It was a natural beginning, given his career in industry. We very much value our links with industry. As examples of his involvement since then, in 2018, he became a national representative of India in the Division on Chemistry and the Environment, and on the Interdivisional Committee on Green Chemistry for Sustainable Development, and now in Cameroon. He was elected as a member of IUPAC Bureau for the term 2020 to 23 by our governing body, the Council. Bureau acting on behalf of Council and overseeing IUPAC activities between Council meetings. He has taken part in many IUPAC projects on themes from sustainable development through to education and outreach, looking towards the future. In 2019, the International Year of the Periodic Table, IYPT, Dr. Saha promoted many activities in India for professionals, the academic community, and children. The enthusiasm of the participants was clear from the reports that he wrote, both in the photographs and in the texts. This was widely appreciated by IUPAC, both the number and quality of events, and he was asked to make a presentation in the closing ceremony of IYPT in Tokyo in December 2019 on these events held in India. The IUPAC Global Women's Breakfast, GWB, events in India have also been promoted and organized by Dr. Saha in 2020 and 2021. In fact, India hosted the largest number of GWB events in the world in 2021. Cooperation between IUPAC and the Indian Chemical Council has been promoted, as well as with the Indian Chemical Society and the Association of Chemistry Teachers in India. Dr. Saha clearly enjoys his work with IUPAC, and IUPAC enjoys and has been lucky to have the benefit of his enthusiastic collaboration and efforts in the promotion of chemistry. His contribution to IUPAC has been wide. The world faces serious challenges trying to satisfy the need for sustainable development whilst addressing the problems of climate change. Dr. Bipul Saha has certainly made a significant contribution to making society aware of this and showing the chemistry that can be used as part of the solution. I'm sure that he will continue to do so. So many congratulations, Bipul, on your selection as an eminent personality, which is certainly much deserved. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Chris, for giving your valuable time to participate in this webinar. Chris is the was the president of IUPAC till last December, and he has made immense contribution to make IUPAC a dynamic organization. He has brought in a lot of changes which will make IUPAC more agile and dynamic in coming years. Chris is dedicated to and committed to IUPAC. In spite of his demanding academic schedule, he makes it a point to attend all meetings of different divisions and committees, and his contribution to IUPAC cannot be measured just in any way. So I thank Chris for taking out his valuable time and say in this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. Now we have another Professor Hamda Garlick. She's from UK. She's a professor of the Environmental Science and Public Health Education at Middlesex University, London. She was also the former president of the IUPAC Division of Chemistry and Environment, and she's also the IUPAC Bureau member. Let me show you her video.
Good afternoon, colleagues, and thank you for inviting me to say a few words in this very important event of eminent personality webinars. Just to introduce myself quickly, I'm Professor Hamda Garlick. I'm an environmental science professor from Middlesex University in London, UK. I'm also very focused on chemistry and the environment as the president of the Division of Chemistry and Environment in the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. I have a long interest in public health and environmental health, and particularly in relation to contaminants, both chemical and microbial, in water and soil. Just to show you the division that we last met in Paris in person, and here I am, and here Dr. Saha, who is a focus of my very short talk today, because this is about Dr. Saha, who is receiving his Eminent Scientist Prize, and we are all very proud of him. When I look at my view of Dr. Saha, I can see a number of fields that he is very important in. The first one, coming from industry, he is a promoter of rigorous science in the agriculture industry. And that's quite clear for all our interaction with him. He's an advocate of environmental principles in agricultural practice, which is really important for our division, and a champion for sustainability and diversity in the chemical sciences. And of course, he is a strong supporter of IUPAC, and I hope a friend as well. So we first got to know each other in 2014 in San Francisco at the IUPAC Pesticide Chemistry Congress, where he has given a talk. And he was involved in the subcommittee in the division, and as a result also became a member of the Committee of Chemistry and Industry in 2016. Now he is the secretary of that committee, demonstrating the input that he's putting into that. With his promotion of understanding and rigorous research in the crop protection, he was involved in a number of crop protection chemistry congresses and conferences, and he was a driving force in the development, which we hope the 15th IUPAC International Congress of Crop Protection Chemistry that will be held in 2023 in India. But uniquely in the industry, he has a lot of understanding on environmental issues. And because of that, he also joined the division in 2018. This also was driven by his involvement in 2017 in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, which was a special Congress which focused on sustainability and diversity through chemistry. And he was a leading force in that Congress. When I talk about diversity, Dr. Saha has been a leading force in the global women's breakfast that the union has developed, and as a champion, a real champion of diversity. And you can see here that he was a part of the international webinar on that, and also was speaking in the various programs in the Indian meetings. He's also a very strong supporter of IUPAC as an organization, and was very involved in two very important events in 2018 and 19, the 100 years to the establishment of IUPAC and the International Year of the Periodic Table. And you can see here that his involvement was really central, and he is in the center of many of those events. So on a whole, he is a good colleague and a friend, and I thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope to listen to him and his talk in this conference. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Hemda. I am simply overwhelmed to see how much effort you have put to prepare that presentation, collecting old photos and including those in these presentations. I may not have all those photos with me. So I have interacted with Hemda since 2014 when I met her in San Francisco in that IUPAC World Congress of Crop Protection Chemistry, and she's an extremely dynamic lady and participates in all meetings in IUPAC Bureau. She's one of the vocal speakers and comes out with new ideas. And it has been my pleasure to interact with her for so many years, and I hope to continue our interaction in future. Thank you, Hemda.
Thank you very much. We have another invited guest, Professor Roberto Targiano. He's from Italy. He's a professor at the University of Bari, Italy, and he's also the president of the IUPAC Division Chemistry and Environment. Okay, let me share his video.
Hello everybody, my name is Roberto Terzano and I am Professor of Agricultural Chemistry at the University of Bari in Italy. I am the new President of Division 6, Chemistry and Environment of the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC. IUPAC is the world authority on chemical nomenclature and terminology, on standardized methods for measurement, and on many other critically evaluated data. Dr. Saha is associate member of Division 6 and he has been engaged in the division since 2018. And I am now very pleased to highlight some of the many activities he is carrying out for IUPAC and to mention the important roles he is covering for the Union. Dr. Saha is Bureau member of IUPAC. IUPAC Bureau is one of the main governing bodies of IUPAC. In addition, he is Secretary and titular member of the Committee of Chemistry and Industry, member of IUPAC Project Committee and National Representative of India in ChemRoad, which is the Committee on Chemical Research Applied to World Needs. He is involved in many important IUPAC projects dealing with topics such as sustainability, microplastics, toxic environmental pollutants, chemistry education, and chemical safety. In 2019, he organized a large number of activities in various cities of India to celebrate the IUPAC centenary and International Year of Periodic Table, which were attended by many students, academicians, and industry professionals. Finally, we are very grateful with Dr. Saha for having successfully built cooperation between Indian Chemical Council and IUPAC and collaboration with the Indian Chemical Society and the Association of Chemistry Teachers of India. Thank you very much, Dr. Saha, for all your work, and thank you all for attention. Bye.
Thank you, Roberto. So I have closely interacted with Roberto in the Division of the Chemistry and Environment. He was earlier the Secretary of the Division of Chemistry and Environment. Subsequently, he became Vice President of that division, and currently from 2022, he is the President of the IUPAC Division of Chemistry and Environment. During my introduction, I found him to be very prompt, very sincere, and whatever information I have sent to him regarding our activities in India, he has promptly circulated to all the members and actively participated in all the meetings and conferences. So I hope to continue the same relationship with Roberto in coming years. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. And now we have another invited guest, Dr. Bernard West from Canada. He's the president of the West Works Consulting Limited. He's also former president and CEO of the Canada Colors and Chemicals. And he's a former chair of board of Canada's Chemical Producers Association, former chair of IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry. He has sent us a video. Let me show you this video.
Hello, my name is Bernard West. I've been involved in the chemical industry for a number of years, and I'm here to congratulate Dr. Saha on his award. We first met when I was chairing the Committee on Chemistry and Industry in IUPAC, which was a number of years ago, and I'm very pleased with the way that he has supported the activities of that committee, of which he is now the secretary. But he supported a number of the initiatives which are important to the committee, the safety training program and the responsible care initiative, which the chemical industry in India is now part of. This worldwide, over 70 countries running responsible care. It's very important. Also, he has contributed valuably to a number of other committees in IUPAC, as well as being elected to the Bureau of IUPAC, which is sort of like the board of directors of IUPAC. So congratulations, Dr. Saha, on your award. I'm looking forward to seeing the contributions that you will continue to make to the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, and I wish you every success in your career in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard. In fact, Bernard West is the person who has brought me to IUPAC. I first met him in Busan in South Korea when I went to deliver some speech in IUPAC World Congress of Chemistry. And there at that time, he was the IUPAC, he was the chairman of the IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry. Since I was also from the industry, we developed a good rapport. And he took extraordinary step to make me member of IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry. He went through some presidential nomination route. And since then, I have closely interacted with Bernard West, and he has been very active for promoting environment, safety, health, and responsible care in chemical industry. And he has held very senior positions in Canada. He was also the president of the Canadian Chemical Producers Association. So with his long experience, he has guided the chemical IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry for almost a decade. And from there now, we are members of this IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry, and we are taking up this project of environment, safety, and health training programs in many parts of the world. Thank you, Bernard, for your support. And without you, I would not have been in IUPAC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. We have another invited guest, Dr. Jean Pelling, who is the General Manager of Union of Chemical Industries based in France. He's also a titular member of IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry. He also has sent a video to us. Let's let me show that his video.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jean Pelin. I have been General Manager of the Trade and Employers Chemical Industry Association of France for nearly 20 years, thereby heavily involved in international associations such as CEFIC at European level and the ICCA, the International Council of Chemical Associations. I am now a titular member of IUPAC, the scientific community of chemists, namely its Committee on Chemical Industry, COCHI, of which Bipul Saha is the Secretary General. Bipul is actually very active within IUPAC instances. He is a bureau member and a titular member of several divisions and committees. For the last 2 years, I have been interacting with Bipul Saha, and I confirm that I have been impressed by his seriousness, his reliability, and his willingness to get things properly done. Bipul is always looking for new ideas and for pushing initiatives which enable our committee to be as concrete as possible, which is actually very much needed in such a complex organization as IUPAC. I would like to mention in particular the initiative it took by setting up a positive relationship between IUPAC's Code C and ICC, the Indian Chamber of the Chemical Industry. This results in a MOU between the two organizations. I guess Bipul is also widely recognized as a key contributor within IUPAC's governance. I know this for sure. And last but not least, I am personally very pleased to have him as a working partner. Congratulations to Bipul for this highly deserved recognition.
Thank you, John. I mean, I've been closely interacting with you, and I find you to be very, very active. And I'm particularly thankful to you that for the cooperation between IUPAC and Indian Chemical Council. You played a vital role, and you personally participated in the meeting which we had with Indian Chemical Council 2-3 times. And I am very much happy to work with you, and with you as a partner, I think we can take IUPAC Committee on Chemistry and Industry to a much bigger height. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. Okay, we have another Saha, Dr. Swapan Saha. Okay, he's an invited guest. He is the former professor of the chemistry, North Bengal University, and also UGC Emeritus Fellow. Recently, he received the Lifetime Achievement Award from Association of Chemistry Teachers of India. Okay, he has sent a video. Let me show you this video.
Hi everyone, I am Dr. Swapon K. Saha. I am a former professor of chemistry and the UGC Emeritus Fellow of University of North Bengal. I have recorded this message about my friend Bipul a few days back. I am sorry for not being physically present today because I have to undergo a minor eye surgery which has been scheduled to be held today. It is really wonderful to talk about somebody like Bipul, who is my very good friend for a span of about 5 decades now. I always remember that it was the continuous inspiration of Bipul due to which I took up my career in teaching and research rather than looking for a job for any other discipline after my MSc. I vividly remember those days, those university golden days during the period of 1971 to 1973. I cherish the memory so much because we were so young at that time and we looked at everything with young minds. The university was young, the teachers were young, and the surroundings was virgin. We enjoyed so much with all of our wonderful batchmates because they were so friendly, so witty, so innocent and selfless. Bipul was extraordinary and a front runner in every facet, be it studies, be it games and sports, be it so-called adda, or be it cultural activities. Dear audience, you will be surprised to know how serious he was in every front. He stood first in MSc with record marks since the inception of the university. He was the champion in games and sports and was a regular and very enthusiastic partner of all cultural activities, including recitations of Bengali poems. In studies, he was so serious. I remember a story that he had undertaken a course on shorthand before joining MSc, such that he could take class notes properly without missing any single word uttered by a teacher. In those days, we had annual exam systems and we had to write answer of broad questions in the exam. In most of the cases, most of the students actually could write 20 to 30 pages of answer scripts in 3-hour exam time, whereas people used to write 50 to 60 pages, and for that, he had to develop fast writing skill. After the class hour was over, most of the students returned to hostel, but Bipul used to go straight to the library to prepare notes on the topics which were taught on the same day. He used to prepare exhaustive study materials for each topic, consulting a large number of reference books from the library. We looked up and used to consult those study materials as well, while I myself used to reduce, modify, and rewrite some of the study materials prepared by Bipul to make it more cogent for me. Most of the students used to reduce them up to 20% drastically because these were so heavy for them, keeping only the important points unspoiled. After the completion of MSc, Bipul started research on the investigation of Indian medicinal plant to search for anti-cancer products. His PhD examiner was Dr. George Pettit, the director of Cancer Research Institute, Arizona State University, USA. And he was so impressed with his work that he invited Bipul to join his research group as a postdoctoral fellow in USA. In subsequent years, Bipul has proved his worth in both academic and industry and got elected in top positions in IUPAC, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, which is the largest global body for chemistry professionals. Incidentally, I would like to add that in the cultural front, he has also done excellence in audiovisual recitation of poems, which has been broadcasted by leading television channels of Kolkata. And this is a hobby in which he is still continuing to perform. I am indeed very happy that I got Bipul as my close friend, and I wish him all the best in his future endeavor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shapun. Shapun was my classmate in MSc. He's a very intelligent and a brilliant student. So in those days, after passing MSc, people are looking for different jobs like State Bank probationary officers and like other types of jobs. But I insisted, Dr. Shapun, that with his intelligence and knowledge of chemistry, he must pursue PhD and be in the academic profession. And I'm very happy that Shapun continued with that. And thus, very recently, he got the Lifetime Achievement Award for contribution to chemistry from the Association of Chemistry Teachers of India. So I'm really very proud of my friend, Dr. Sapun. And Sapun was a very dynamic fellow. And one incident I remember that he used to come to the hostel rooms after night and spend time with all of us. And he was the last person to leave the room. So people gave him the name Thick Glue. That is, wherever he's going, he will never leave from that room. So Sapun was my close friend, so I can speak about all these things. I am really very proud that he has got the Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you.
Wow, it's good to know from you got a college friend, university friend sharing how you guys did together in exams also. Nice message. Thank you very much, Professor Saha. Thank you. Now we have another guest user present here, Mr. Manikam Natarajan. He's a former colleague of Dr. Saha when he was at the NAC Industries. Mr. Natarajan is former Executive Vice President, NAC Industries. Currently, he works with the NATCO Pharma. Mr. Natarajan, please. Can you open your speaker, please?
I've been working with Dr. Saha for more than a decade. I had the good fortune to know him, work with him. During this 10-year association, one thing stood out was his passion for chemistry and teaching. I really appreciate I vividly remember the efforts he has taken to introduce green chemistry into our portfolio of products which we are manufacturing in the company. So Dr. Saha took the initiative and drove the project for converting many of this chemical formulation to greener and environmentally sustainable ones. That's a great contribution not only for the company and for the industry also. In these days of sustainable agriculture, getting more and more traction, I hope Dr. Saha will continue to contribute to that in various forms. The second part of it is he has been Also a very active participant in the management group meetings. As a colleague, I can certify that. And he has contributed to the strategies of the company, how to shape it up future. And I also know Dr. Saha has been involved with developing a futuristic curriculum for Indian chemistry students. He has been involved in some other projects with the local IICT here, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, and the Government of India. So I hope Dr. Saha will continue on that and bring the latest things, and especially the sustainable part of the chemistry to the curriculum of future Indian chemistry students. The last part is we also remember him as a person who's actively participated in all the cultural activities. He has been, for his age, we were really wondering many times how he is so active at this age of 60 plus, doing the dramas and mono actings, and of course, his famous poems. I wish Dr. Saha all the best for the future, and I hope he will continue to contribute to the sustainable chemistry development in India. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Manikyam, for your kind words. So you're a good colleague of me, and we enjoyed working for almost 10 years. Manikyam is a pass out from IIM Ahmedabad, and he is very highly knowledgeable, not only in his area, but in many other subjects. He's one of the few who has very nice sense of humor. So nowadays we are forgetting humor, but his sense of humor I still remember. So it is good that I could interact with Manikyam after a span of time, and thank you for participating in this webinar.
Thank you. Now, thank you, Mr. Nagarajan. Thank you very much for joining us today. May I invite our next guest is Mr. Satyabrata Mukherjee. He's based in Dubai. He's currently is a vice president of McGraw Global, and he's a former colleague of Dr. Sain of Pfizer. Mr. Mukherjee, please. We'd like to hear about Dr. Sain with in your own words. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. And with so many panelists from all over the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. My association with Dr. Saha goes back to 1984 when he joined Pfizer at its Kalyani plant near Kolkata as the quality assurance manager. Now, whatever I had thought of talking about him, the qualities that he had have already been covered by most of my previous speakers. So I won't add to them, but yes, I would try to share some anecdotes that we had in during our association. So after joining as the quality assurance manager, after some time he was promoted as manager R&D and quality assurance. And I was only a production shift engineer then, having joined Pfizer in 1983. And I would not hesitate to say that he is one of the most unassuming persons I have come across in my entire career of 42 years. We were a very closely knit family in Pfizer. And we used to live in a place called Kalyani, which is a small place. And incidentally, Dr. Saha used to stay maybe about 70 meters from my house where I used to stay in Kalyani. And if my memory serves me right, he got married within a week of mine in 1985. He had already said that, okay, we all know Dr. Saha is a doctorate in chemistry. Dr. Saha has said that his wife, Dr. Supriya, is also a doctorate in chemistry. And he said that it was an arranged marriage. Well, both of them being from the field of chemistry, the chemistry between them was superb. And they had a daughter named Shreya from the marriage. Since I had a chance to interact with him so closely in the plant as well as off the plant, since we used to stay very close, we had seen him as a very caring son to his parents. Dr. Saha, whom I consider, by now you all know, a versatile genius, was a quick learner and showed immense flexibility and adaptation to the working style of Pfizer. See, I had joined this company at the project stage itself when the company was under construction. This bulk drugs manufacturing unit of Pfizer in Kalyani was meant for producing two anthelmintic drugs, that is anti-worm drugs, pyrantel palmoate for human beings and morantel citrate for animals. You know, how Dr. Saha improved in each stage of production of these products, not only as far as chemistry is concerned, the yield is concerned, even the very look of it. We were producing bulk drugs ultimately. It was going to be formulated at a different plant in Thane or Chandigarh. Say, we were producing pyrantel palmoate and one of the ingredients was disodium palmoate. And the pyrantel palmoate, the color of pyrantel palmoate should be a light yellowish, yellow. And the disodium palmoate that was coming to us and the product that we are producing was becoming a dark yellow. Even though the quality was fine, we thought this is not going to sell well. He came up with a brilliant idea. Let's add activated carbon during this fourth stage. And if I can imitate a slogan in India, what a brilliant idea, Sarji. And it really improved the color to very, very nice yellow color. That's how he used to develop, improve things in every stage. Dr. Saha, in his capacity as the head of R&D and QA, carried out a lot of tests and experiments that would increase the yields at each stage of production. As I said, he was an unassuming person. He had no hesitation in mixing with anybody, whether he is a lowly placed operator or a shift engineer or a manager. He used to conduct meetings with all employees of production department to explain the chemistry and involve them in the improvement process. We achieved significant improvement in the yield and quality, and this was appreciated by Pfizer International. Now, Dr. Saha was made production manager in 1989. Can you imagine a person coming from a research background in R&D, quality assurance, becoming a manager in production department in 1989? I used to work with him very closely. I remember vividly one day I ran to him to convey that the yield of morantel citrate touched a record high under his guidance. And gosh, that was a moment to cherish. Thereafter, more bulk drugs like chlorpropamide and tinidazole were awarded to our plant. As Dr. Saha has said, we were producing diabetes as an anti-diabetes medicine, for which we needed chlorpropamide. And then for chlorpropamide, we needed PCBS urea. So we produced PCBS urea first in this plant, converted into chlorpropamide, and then exported it out or sent to our other plants for making diabetes. This was all because of the capability that we had all exhibited under Dr. Saha's leadership. So here comes his leadership. Now, when we talk about Dr. Saha as being a man of knowledge in his specialized field of chemistry, which is indisputable, we cannot ignore his expertise in various forms of art and culture. One cannot forget his full-throated recitation of Bengali poems or a writer in him. He was a great organizer, be it a social function or an event in the office. One could repose one's faith in that man, Dr. Bipul Saha. I remember his leadership and guidance when we in Pfizer Kalyani conducted interlocation games tournament of Pfizer, which was a grand success. Dr. Saha left Pfizer in 1992 and I left in 1994. We have moved on with life. Dr. Saha has achieved more and more and established himself in the field of world chemistry, ably aided by his wife, Dr. Supriya Saha. I am fortunate to have known him from such close quarters, be associated with him, and learn from him. My wife, Chandrima, joins me in wishing Dr. Saha and his family a blessed life. Thank you.
Thank you, Satyabroto. We had very good association in Pfizer, and I remember you as a very, very dynamic and action-oriented person. So we wanted to do a lot of improvements in Pfizer, and I needed somebody who will be implementing that. And Satyabroto was front runner in that. He took so much initiative to implement those changes, came out with brilliant ideas. And so I thought that he should be the production manager in course of time. And I'm very happy that he became production manager. I left, and then subsequently he has proved his worth in various organizations, and he is now a vice president in an international organization. I'm proud of you, and as I told you some time back that I teach in some management institutes, and I take your case as a case study to see, to show how an Indian person from an ordinary background can rise to an international position. So thank you, Satyabroto, for coming and sharing your viewpoints. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mukherjee, sir. Okay, now I invite one more, the last speaker of today, Dr. Ranajit Tadulkar. He is a former senior research scientist at the Cooperative Institute for Research in Environmental Sciences and at the University of Colorado and Earth System Research Laboratory in USA. He's a former colleague of the Dr. Saha in Bath. You know, he lives in USA. It's a very midnight for him. You can understand that how much he respects Dr. Saha and value the friendship. May I invite Dr. Ranajit, please come forward.
All right, here you go. I'm here. It's you know, a lot of people who actually spoke highly of him are much higher position, placed in much higher position compared to me. I am just you know, still collecting dust on the seashore, rather, I would say. But besides that, I will not describe too much of his academic accomplishment or managerial skills. because I do not know about those things. Only academic achievement, I can speak some of it, only in the beginning. I am seeing him across the screen after, I would say, 30 or half morning along with his family. And so I was going to go to a conference. So it was a very interesting experience. He suddenly showed up at our, apartment. He knew actually. So before going into too much of details, I would like to speak about about him. And it is his day. It is not my day. So I really am honored, and it's a great pleasure to speak on his behalf and congratulate him for his being selected as an eminent scientist or eminent person by this organization, TechnoBeach and others. So he's already well known. I didn't know all this stuff before. I came to know only recently because we didn't have any contact as such for a long, long time, maybe nearly 4 decades. So both of us joined training school in 1977, that's BRC training school. And it is by itself, getting an opportunity in that organization that is a premier research institute is a great fit by itself. I mean, everybody came there, pretty well known. And in some way, they were extremely accomplished actually. But he was the only one, came after a PhD. So we had a very high regards for him. In addition to his academic excellence, he also involved in sports, drama, including one-act play. He used to recite poems in front of us, and it was really captivating how he organized and all that. So in all, one important thing is that his skill of time management, that was extremely important. And he would prepare everything in advance. So that is one thing. He would not keep for the last moment, always prepare in advance. And that's how he not like organization. That was a great thing. And in terms of the training division, we had a 1 year, actually 10 months training. We all had to write a 37 test during that time. It was very stressful environment. And I can tell you during that time, we studied together and pick each other's brains and other colleagues' brain in the process. So and then after finishing that course, he came out on the top of the training school, and he was awarded the Homi Bhabha prize for that during his training, because of his training school, and he was able to join a division of his own wish. So that is very important and thing in his life. And after 4 years, he decided to go on a postdoctoral fellowship in Canada and I think US. And he worked with the Nobel laureate Derek Barton, and that really took off his career. After returning here, he has briefly spent time with me. We lived together in my apartment. And after that, he left for Pfizer. And after that, very much all the connections are lost in some way. So that is about that. But I would like to give some anecdotes which are very important. One is that we had to kind of rearrange ourselves after almost at the end of the training. People demanded that I should speak about Mossbar spectroscopy for a couple of hours, Mossbar and NMR and all that. So it was after dinner, 10 to 12, and we did that, and without any notes or anything like that. So the people are free to ask any question and initiate discussions that way. It is not a lecture, but more like a discussion. So after all the session was over, after a few days, he came and asked me a question. And I said, where did you find this question? I don't remember talking about it. He showed his note. This is how he was methodical in recording everything or documenting everything. And he said, yeah, this is what it is. We discussed. I said, okay, maybe I miscommunicated. Let us clear it up. And that's how we learn from each other. And this is one of the important things that we do. And and his level of memory is extremely good. He reads something and he remembers. I have come across only one person in my life besides him was my father. He had a kind of printed memory, same way almost. So I feel that there are only few people you encounter in your life like that way. And in addition to that, I would like to say another story, how we first met. Actually, I was me along with another person from the Indian Association of Science. I was a brief time in doing PhD at Calcutta in the PhD program. So we came for the BRC interview, and I came by myself. And there was an agreement that there would be a bunch of people from North Bengal University would be coming at the same time on the same day in the next train. So I got down at the other station and I saw it was a huge sea of people. I had no idea where I was going to go. So I thought that if these people do not show up, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a next train ticket and go back to Calcutta. I'm not going to go for this interview. I'm not going to go to BRC. But fortunately, they came. And that's how it changed my whole life, I could say, in some way, interacting with him and working with him in training school. And if you are thinking of, besides this, if you're thinking of, let us say, the younger generation or upcoming generations, I would say do not follow anybody's path. Follow your own instinct and try to come up with a new idea, new thing. Always try to do something very new. And that is how it works always. Even if you think of a lot of great, they had teachers and they had like students and their children. They used to say, okay, even if you have one composition done, do it in a month, in a year. But that is how you start in the beginning. It's always, that is how everybody gets successful. Bipul also did the same way. He worked very hard. He always came up with a new thing. So this is how you go about in life. And I really thank you for inviting me to speak about you. And I saw the list of speakers and the people who spoke about you were in much higher level than where I am. So anyway, I'm very honored to be presenting this seminar and the discussion with people.
Thank you, Ranajit. Okay, so I knew Ranajit from my training school days. So he was a brilliant chemist. I mean, he was he says that he's very much below all those people who have spoken, but I do not agree with that. He's a first gold medalist from Kolkata University. In BRC, he did fantastic work. I mean, he was in the multidisciplinary research laboratory. He did fantastic work, and then he went to USA, and USA found a person like him. So they took him for a lot of research work, and he has made a very significant contribution in R&D. If you see his list of publication, it goes into hundreds. So I'm very happy that Dr. Ranajit was here, and we met after a long time. And thank you for participating.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ranjit. May I ask all the panelists to open your webcams, come onto the screen so that all in one, on one shot on the screen, please. Mr. Natarajan, please.
Just a minute.
Manikam, yeah. Ms. Manikam. Can you open your webcam, sir?
Yeah, just a minute. Some technical glitch. Just give me a minute.
Dr. Saha, would you like to share final remarks to all the panelists before we move to the Q&A session?
Well, I have shared my remarks during after they concluded each one's presentation.
Together at the same time. Yeah. Okay, I would like to say on behalf of TechnoBiz, actually this whole presentation, the whole presentation, and also your association, each one of you gave so much nice insights of Dr. Bipul Saha. It's very inspiring, very, I can say, a lot of takeaways for the younger generation from this program. I'm really happy that you joined today, to be part of this program. I appreciate your participation. Thank you very much. Okay, we will move to the Mr. Natarajan, sir. I really like that, you know, your association with the Dr. Saha, and you talk about the cultural activities, you know, even at that age, how Dr. Bipul did it. Yeah, super. And Mr. Mukherjee, sir, wow, I think you covered a lot. A lot of things to talk about, you know, Dr. Bipul Saha, and also Dr. Ranajit with your associate during the BRC time management, and you know, the preparation, organizing skills, not only technical skills, but you know, the most important thing is being successful is the time management, and also the being diversified, not just want to be so technical, but you know, as Mr. Natarajan mentioned about cultural activities. That's really super. You got Dr. Bipul Saha as a, I can say, wide skills, you know, for the every younger generation to how to live, being a chemist or being a scientist, at the same time also involved in a number of other activities. And my sincere thanks to all of you, you know, for joining this today for the panelists. And so thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for organizing this.
Thank you all.
Pleasure
Thank you
to
all
be
for
here.
participating. Ranajit at midnight in USA, you are here. Thank you so much. And Satyabroto,
I'm here.
good evening.
I'm working. This is my office. If you believe this is my work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Saha, in R&D and then coming to production, he had taught us the most important thing, as we used to call it our pharmaceutical industry, GMP, that is good manufacturing practices. He taught us, said, you know, that quality isn't expensive. Quality is, that's what actually carries us on even today. You know, do whatever you do it with. Keep your quality mark. Dr. Saha has been doing it, and we are trying to follow that.
Super. Nice, very nice. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I will move to the next part of the program, is a Q&A session. I thank you all once again on behalf of the Technobase and on behalf of Dr. Samar, or my team member and mentor for this Eminent Personality webinars. Thank you once again to all of you. Okay, now we move to the Q&A session. Thank you. Move to the Q&A session. Dr. Saha will answer some of the questions in some specific issues we raise. Yeah. Okay. Dr. Saha, I'll ask you to read the question and answer it appropriately, so that you know these questions are related to the younger, more focus on the younger generation. Okay, please.
Sure.
Let me off other cameras. Okay. Here we go.
To be successful as a scientist, what is your advice for the younger generation? First thing is that be passionate about your work. So when you like your work, when you put deep into the work, when you are passionate, then only you can become very successful in research. In a research scientist, the second important thing which I want to say is that this is a quote from Einstein, where he says, imagination is more important than knowledge. So for research to be successful, to become an outstanding scientist, your imaginative ideas, your creative ideas, out-of-box thinking are going to play a very important role. So don't go by the traditional thinking, come out with your new ideas, and then dream big and take risks. Okay, there may be failures, but do not be upset. Remember, failure is success if you are prepared to learn from those failures. And finally, I would say that network with the scientists, keep abreast of whatever is happening in the world. So don't get bogged down by the traditional studies. So be contemporary, see what are the issues, what are the challenges, what are the problems. So select those type of issues, challenges, and problems, and then be dedicated, be passionate, and work with new and imaginative ideas. That's what I would suggest. Well, next question is, what are career opportunities currently available for chemistry professionals? Well, chemistry is the central of all science, so there are a lot of career opportunities for the chemistry professionals. Say, for example, if you pass out with an MSc or PhD degree, you have opportunity to work in chemical industry, pharmaceutical industry, and there are different divisions and sections depending upon your interest. Say, for example, you can join the R&D chemist, you can have quality control chemist, you can be a production chemist, you can become analytical chemist. So a lot of opportunities are there in the chemical industry. Then apart from that, there are a lot of new and emerging fields are coming. So you should also focus on those emerging fields, for example, nanotechnology, biotechnology, chem informatics, and data science, material science. These are the areas also that chemists have opportunities. And then if you are academic oriented, you can always join a teaching profession as a university professor or in a college professor, or even in government CSIR Institute, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. There are a lot of options are available. And finally, I would say that if you are an extrovert person, like talking to people, there are jobs which are available as a marketing person in the chemical industry. So there are multiple opportunities available for chemists, and you should be able to find a good fit depending upon your interest. Third question is, what is your outlook on the artificial intelligence role in science and technology research? Well, artificial intelligence is having all-pervasive influence, and they'll play a very important role in science and technology research. Currently, we see, for example, in drug discovery, in drug design, artificial intelligence is playing a very important role. They can analyze millions of data and then come out with some suggestions. In agriculture also, we can find that this artificial intelligence can have important roles. So they can collect the information of the crops and then analyze all the information, then find out what will be the applying the pesticides, what will be the dosage. We can have robots for harvesting. So I mean, I don't think there will be any field in science and technology which will not be impacted by artificial intelligence in the future. Do you have any comments on the current educational curriculum of chemistry in universities? Now, say 50 years ago in chemistry, we used to study organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, analytical chemistry. We still study all those things, but we have to see that chemistry is emerging and a lot of new areas are coming in the field of chemistry. So all universities and research centers should adapt those new subjects. Like we have got green chemistry, sustainable chemistry, artificial intelligence in chemistry, interface of chemistry with biology. All these subjects are important subjects which has to be incorporated. In IUPAC, we have taken a project called systems thinking in chemistry. So chemistry, we should not think in isolation. It is a part of the total system. So we have to apply the concept of systems thinking. So these are the new areas, emerging areas. And I know that top ranking institutes like IITs and top universities, they are all adapting these new challenges, new subjects of chemistry. But there may be many traditional universities, old universities, they have not adopted this new curriculum, and they should adopt this new curriculum and make chemistry as a contemporary subject. Chemistry as a subject, I think we have a very good standard. People abroad in USA and other people, they have got very high regards about our chemistry curriculum, what we have been teaching, what we've been training. So I think if we can update our syllabus, then we'll continue to play an important role in the field of chemistry globally. What are future areas of research in chemistry? Well, I think we have to see that the future area of research addresses the global issues. So I think green chemistry, sustainable chemistry, these are going to be very important role which chemistry should play in the future. Then how we can use the renewable sources. As you all know that petroleum and other non-renewable sources, there's a definite life of those. So how we can quickly get an alternative to those. Then energy sources are depleting, and then how we can have an alternative energy source, like say for example nuclear fusion, which is a work of both chemistry and chemical engineering. Can we make it an economically viable nuclear fusion, then we have not to think of energy crisis for next million years. So these are the different types of topics we have to think, and then emerging topics like nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, all these things should be areas of the future research in chemistry. Okay.
Okay, that's all the questions we have, Dr. Saha. Thank you very much, for joining this, joining us this part of this program today. And we're really honored and sharing your journey. Really, it's a really useful, very inspiring journey. And before we close this program, we almost end the program. I do request you to give a final remarks to the whole audience, okay, and kind of message to all the audience, please. Thank you.
I would first of all like to thank TechnoBridge and also the audience who have been participating in this program. So I have explained my journey. So I think there is some concern that whether pure science subjects like physics, chemistry, they have any future. I personally think that pure science subject, chemistry, physics, mathematics, they have strong future, and it is not that only engineering and other things students should pursue. We can big changes in the world can be made by these fundamental subjects. Now this year 2022, it will be celebrated as International Year of Pure Sciences for Scientific Development, IUPAC, from July 2022 to June 2023, to explain the importance of basic sciences, which is required for the sustainable development. This is a program approved by United Nations General Assembly. So basic sciences are going to be very important, and we should not ignore basic sciences. Yes, applied sciences do have very important role, but basic sciences can make fundamental changes in our life. Basic discoveries can changes in the life, and I would suggest that we should give due emphasis for the basic sciences.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saha, once again for being part of this program as eminent scientist in conversation with eminent scientist. We really enjoyed this session. I believe that all the participants also found it useful. All the participants, on behalf of TechnoBiz, I thank you once again, for joining the session. This program is recorded. It is available in the TechnoBiz channel. If you're interested to watch it again, it's available. So please do check it out. Before I end every of my eminent personal webinar, I do encourage all of you to grow more trees around the surroundings of your home and your workplace. Then the whole world will be green and a lot of problems will be solved. On that note, I thank you all for joining this session today. I hope to see you in the future eminent personal webinar. Thank you all. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you all the panelists, sir. Thank you very much. I'm closing the session now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.